reference haven't got lost. Are you getting, all of you are getting that or not? Okay. So see, and if I change that value from here, see, okay, and when this will not work, anyone knows when this will not work? Suppose see, let's come back to our initial problem. Let's see. From here it will change. Yes, all the places it is changing. So what will happen if I do this thing then? Yeah, so it will affect both the places or single places. Why? Because
New model.
yeah, because we are changing the reference of that particular property. So previously we were changing model.foo value. So it was only see, model was reference was there in a memory location and they were pointing to the same location. So that wasn't get vanished from inner scope. So whenever you reassign the value, whatever that is, like it is if it is a reference type or if it is a primitive type. So in that case, scope will get lost and you will have that reference object over here only, or the binding will get loose. Okay. So.
Guys, feel free to interrupt if
if
Pankaj is
anyone
going
have-
fast, then you can stop him on the way.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Because it is the finally intention is you have to understand each and everything.
Yeah.
And interaction is necessary, right? Otherwise, we
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I have
So
a question.
yeah.
As you told, if we click on the
Yeah.
scope gets changed data.
Yeah.
Scope changes data. So is it happening because of we are using ng if
No, like yeah, but the problem was why it was happening. We were changing the reference of an object.
okay.
So and yeah, and you were correct. Like and what ngif does is like when it creates a particular, when it insert a particular DOM which you have mentioned over here. So when creating a DOM and when it is injecting that DOM, it creates a new scope, which is a child scope or outer controller, and that is prototypically inherited from this parent controller. So prototypically inherited means what? Whatever property it has, that will be available inside. Here it is a foo. Previously it was a foo and show inner scope, show inner content thing. So that will be inside a child scope, means inner scope. And if you modify them, then their reference will get lost. And if you wrap it inside some model like reference type object, so what reference type object does is it locates to some memory location, and it can have a property. Like what it says, that property says like model is responsible for all these property which are in there. Okay. So here I have a model foo, and that model foo reference got carried inside a inner scope, and I was changing model.foo to something else. So I wasn't changing the model object reference. Here I changed. Before that was not there. Yeah, model. Yes, do that model.foo. Your point got clear or not?
Yes.
So I just changed the inner property reference. Actual model reference is the same. It is pointing to the object which is there over here. So what happens internally is when prototypical inheritance happens, when something comes to object so it will look for the upper hierarchy. For that, suppose it is a model.foo, okay? And model.foo, suppose it has some values. Take see here, model.foo. And what will it do is like if I don't have a model inside a inner scope, it will check for upper, like ask for a parent, like do you have a model.foo value? Yeah, it was given by parent only, which is there in outer controller scope. So open outer controller scope, that controller. See, from here it took at the first time when it lands on the page. Okay, anyone have a doubt? Like, am I?
creates technical scope is
No, it creates a prototypically inherited scope.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
are calling inner scope just because the content is inside the NG
Yeah.
or inside the div. Let us suppose there is another div which
Yeah.
has some other property.
Yeah.
or it contains something like ng change or something.
Yeah.
So it will create an inner scope.
No, no, no. See,
So means why we are calling it a inner scope? Just
no, inner scope is incorrect name. I just, for visualization, I just have it. The correct name is prototypically inherited child scope. That is correct name. Why prototypical? Because Angular follows a prototypical inheritance when it comes to scope hierarchy. So if I have a child, suppose take an example, like I have a two divs, and first div has a controller A, and second div, the inner div has a controller B. Okay, so inside a controller B, on a view, you can access the properties of the parent, A controller A.
so it's a play between the divs, correct?
What?
It means we are playing between the divs, like we are using div under div. That's why we are calling it something like prototyping.
No.
You-
See, when what that was related to ng controller also have a prototypical inheritance, and ng if, ng repeat, and ng what is that, ng switch. These three directive also create a child scope, and ng controller does the same thing if you look at them. So that can also be an example of that. So should I take it? I haven't covered it actually.
I have,
Yeah.
as you said, prototype inheritance.
Yeah.
We use that, it flows from bottom to parent.
No, it takes the properties from parent
From
and
parent.
make it
So first it
available for a child.
Okay, first it will check in parent. And
No. First it will check in my scope. If it isn't there, so it will ask for a parent. So do you have? Yeah.
Just like event public.
Event bubbling, but that is very different concept. But yeah.
No, I'm just.
Correct.
Direction.
Yeah. So if whenever whenever you wanted to display any value on a binding level or inside a controller as well, but that only works with the reference type object. So what happens is, if you have a scope hierarchy like controller inside A controller, we have a controller B on the view, and then thereafter we have a controller C on the view. So it internally creates a hierarchy. So if you look at that if you do console.log, you will find that inside $parent object, each scope has a $parent object. So inside $parent object, you will see whatever you have on the view. Means if you look at a controller C ka $scope, so you will see it $parent has a controller B value. Means controller B ka scope you will see inside a console, inside a $parent property. Okay, and same for the B. For B, you will see, C A ka value. And if you look at a child head and child, the child tail, so it will give you, what is on this side, kind of linked list. So linked list has a, rear and end. So it has both the references. So he will say what is your sibling and what is your, the ancestor and that thing.
So it has nothing to do with the NG show and NG